If you were to go out onto the internet and Google or search Usui Principles or Reiki Principles, you would see a variety of different versions. However, there is one version that we typically consider the standard Usui version of the Reiki Principles or the Usui Principles that were talked about earlier. Again, that is the secret art of inviting happiness, the miraculous medicine of all diseases. Just for today, do not anger. Do not worry and be filled with gratitude. Devote yourself to your work. Be kind to people. Every morning and evening, join your hands in prayer. Pray these words to your heart and chant these words with your mouth. I'd like to talk a little bit about the Usui principles and how we might apply them more directly to our lives. First off, this is really a prescription. The prescription is if you want to live a life of happiness, this is the secret to it. And it's not only a secret to it, but it's the miraculous medicine of all diseases. You'll notice that it doesn't call Reiki the miraculous medicine of all diseases, but these principles are the miraculous medicine of all diseases. That makes us realize that though we're practicing Reiki, Reiki will not fix everything. That we have to have an internal shift in how we perceive ourselves and how we perceive everyone around us in the world. And so he gives us 5 things to do, 5 things to focus on. And then he tells us that it just has to be one day at a time. So taking one day at a time, we focus on not being angry, not being filled with worry, that we work on being filled with gratitude, that we work on being kind to other people, and that we work on devoting ourselves to our work. Now our work, very interestingly, because of the Japanese language, work could actually be transliterated into a variety of different words. One of those, and one that many people think that he was probably referring to, was the actual work of meditation or our spiritual practice. So, devote yourself to your spiritual practice. And then he tells us how to take the medicine. So think about, when you go to a Western doctor says, well, to be healthy, then this is what you need to do, this is what you have to take. And so those are the 5 principles. It's what we actually have to take. But not only does he give that to us, or does the doctor give that to us, but the doctor gives us a prescription as to how we take that. And that's exactly what Dr. Usui does for us. He tells us how we actually take this new medicine, this miraculous medicine, as he calls it. He tells us that every morning and evening, so that's the first part, we take this medicine in the morning and in the evening. We join our hands in prayer. And in this prayer pose, it's referred to as Gassho meditation pose. And the hands look just like this. The hands are completely together, the thumbs extended, and the thumbs come right to the heart. This is Gassho meditation pose. And this is what Dr. Usui is talking about as we read the interpretation or the translation of join your hands in prayer. And then we pray these words to our heart. And so what I encourage students to do is just to visualize the words coming out of their mouth almost in a greenish type color. And if it's another color for you, that's just fine. But I usually leave them to study green because we're going to come directly through the hands, visualize them coming through the hands right into the heart. Good. And the reason why I would have you visualize them as green is because we're working with the heart chakra, which we learned earlier corresponds to the green frequency. And the last part of the prescription, or how we take this miraculous medicine, is that we chant the words with our mouth. And again, when do we take this medicine? Both in the morning and in the evening. And so we spend sometimes only 15 seconds, but if we have a few minutes, take the time and spend it. But we chant this always after our attunement, in the morning, after we rise, and in the evening before we lie down to sleep. So that's your homework. Your homework is to recite the principles. I've included a few different versions of principles, but your work is to determine which principles it is that you're going to chant with your mouth and speak into your heart. And it doesn't really matter. It's about which one resonates with you the most. So with the Takata version, we get a little bit briefer of a version. Just for today thou shalt not anger. Just for today thou shalt not worry. Thou shalt be grateful for thy many blessings. Earn thy livelihood with honest labor, and be kind to thy neighbors. A version that I created, and a lot of people out there have created their own version, but a version that I created that I thought really embodied the essence of Reiki and what the Reiki path is truly all about is, today I rise above common anger. Today I rise above common worry. Today I acknowledge and express gratitude for the way Spirit operates in all aspects of my life. Today I walk in my own truth and integrity as I dive deeply within myself to do my soul's work. And today I express loving kindness to myself, others, and all things as incarnations of the divine. Again, you're going to do this morning and night in Gasha meditation pose, speaking these words of this miraculous medicine, chanting them from your mouth, and visualizing them, speaking them, praying them directly to your heart.